very much for that warm reception. And right away, we'll get into the Women in Cyberspace panel. And I think from what you've observed, there are a lot of women, and excellent and wonderful women in cyberspace. And here we have 3 of them, 3.5, since I keep being described as former and retired. We have with us Laura Temesi, a superwoman who fearlessly embraces new roles and challenges while hand-holding young women who look up to her into rewarding life and career and technology opportunities. She's currently the head of cyber partnerships and communication at the Standard Chartered Bank, leading the bank's global cyber partnerships and advocacy agenda across 59 markets globally. She's a board member of the Africa Cyber Defense Forum. She's passionate about mentoring ladies into cybersecurity-related careers, and she serves as a volunteer mentor for the 2022 ITU Women in Cyberspace program. And she's also a mother of 2 who enjoys reading, traveling, and exploring new cultures. Welcome, Emma. Maybe you can give her a round of applause. We also have with us Ms. Mary Mbugua, the head of risk and compliance of Jubilee Insurance, as you've been told. She's an information security titan who equips and empowers technology leaders to protect their workspaces and enterprises. She's very experienced in that area. She has hands-on experience in the design and development of international best practice risk management programs, information security and data privacy compliance programs. And she's also designed and developed and delivered risk and compliance trainings for clients, including national cybersecurity response teams. Join me in welcoming Mary Mbugua. And last but definitely not least, we have a pioneer who champions technology from the server room to the boardroom and emerges victorious. We have Emma Ngute, the Director of ICT from Kitui County. She advises the county government on ICT matters, coordinating and implementing ICT policies and strategies, and identifying investment opportunities. I'm sure those from the private sector are listening carefully. And promoting development of ICT infrastructure and citizen ICT access and adoption. She served as a system analyst at the Teachers Service Commission. She's an alumni of Strathmore University, specializing in information security and systems audit. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a wildlife enthusiast, and she loves walking on the beach in the moonlight. Please welcome Emma. So we'll just jump right in with our first round of questions, which are designed to help us understand these wonderful women. So I'll start with Emma. Emma, you have navigated the politics in the public sector, and as you told us, from the server room, from the boardroom. How did you do it?
Thank you, Kate. I think first is about believing in yourself, identifying the gaps and voicing your voice, not being shy on what you are doing and having a purpose. That has really helped making a voice. And yes, I think I had an advantage of starting from the bottom. So being a technical person, walking through from my former employer, I could sit at the boardroom with the commissioners as a technical person. That time we were digitizing the teachers online, and that really helped me. At least sitting with the decision makers, make yourself known. At least when people know you, be the good person, and know you, the better person, then you are good to go, Kate.
Thank you so much, Emma. Sit with the decision makers. I think you've all heard that. And I'll just move on to Mary. Mary, you rose to the top in a very competitive sector, insurance. I'm sure there are a lot of parents here, there are a lot of young and upcoming graduates. What opportunities are there for technology graduates in the insurance sector?
Thank you. It's no longer insurance. I'll start by saying that.
Okay.
It's insurtech.
Insurtech.
Right now, the synergies and what we're seeing in terms of the connectivity or the introduction and leveraging on technology has brought about immeasurable opportunities. So for any technical graduate out there, stemming from any STEM course, there are multiple opportunities stemming from data analysis, leveraging on blockchains, leveraging on information security. Data is a new well, as been mentioned today. So again, the infrastructures that we're building to sustain the insurtech infrastructure requires these competencies, these capabilities pegged on securing the new oil. So again, the opportunities are immeasurable. The courses that we're seeing today, again, are aligning to these opportunities that have been brought about by leveraging on technology.
Insurtech, I love that. I've learned a new word today, and that really confirms that there are a lot of opportunities for technology graduates in the insurance sector. Last but not least, Laura, you've risen to the top and you've effectively reinvented yourself with all these changes, because before insurtech came fintech, and we've seen, great changes in the financial sector. How have you managed to keep up with these changes and keep rising despite the transformation?
Yeah, thank you. Excellent question. I like the fact that you've started the question with talking about change, because one thing I've observed is change is the only constant. And how you react to change is you either fight it or you embrace it. So for my personal journey, I've embraced change through being very intentional about where I want to move to. I mean, my career, I'm a chartered accountant. I started as an auditor, transitioned into technology, information risk, now into cyber, looking to move towards the diplomacy side of things. So it's really important to be clear and intentional about where you want to go to. And even with that bit of embracing change, there's the aspect about community. Who are you walking that journey with? There's a famous saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. And when it comes to career conversations, it's about who are you sharing with your journey? Because these are the people then who will hold me accountable. And then these are the people who will tell me, you need to move faster, but will also tell me you need to take a break, And then there's the other element of passion. When you pursue your passion, regardless of the adversity that you face, it becomes then easy to still hold on. Because when you like, what to somebody else may seem like a challenge or onerous to them, for you it's a learning opportunity. From a personal experience, the times when I've experienced the biggest discomfort and stretch in my journey, in my growth, in my career, when I look back, these are the times that I've actually experienced the most growth, both personally and professionally. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma. Being held accountable by a community, I'm learning a lot. So I'm going back to you, Emma. You've moved from Nairobi and you're bravely working in the county. And I think it's a green field when it comes to ICT matters. There's a lot that needs to be done, but there's also a lot of opportunity to do things. What are some of the things you have prioritized in your role?
Thank you, Kate. I think yesterday you talked about cyber diplomacy, and one of the things which really enabled me was ICT diplomacy. First, convincing the management, it's a political office, that you are not putting a budget for water, for things people can see. You are putting the budget for ICT, which the citizens cannot see, which you are not going to give you votes. So first was about diplomacy, putting ICT at the decision table. Then secondly, about ICT literacy, that really helped for the people to understand, the executives to understand what is ICT and what can we do about it and what can we do about it and what are the risks of us not embracing ICT. And then I think the third was about ICT policy. As you have stated, it was a green field, there was no policy, people were doing what they were to do. So I had to put up an ICT policy, and I was lucky I could see because we had just finished doing the ICT policy at the TSC. So when I went, it was not that really a struggle putting up an ICT policy in the county, which was adopted and which gave us a working platform, if I may say, Kate.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm not a robot. If you see me switching on and off, it's the mic. Thank you very much for that, telling us we have to make those documents, those policies, those strategies. And that's important, not only at the county, but wherever we are. Moving back to Mary, we were very used to the traditional insurance broker at the time when insurance was insurance and not insurtech. Now that we still have people who would like a brokerage career, how do they need to reinvent themselves in this world of technology?
Thank you, and a very important question. How we look at it, technology is an enabler. It's an accelerator for the insurance industry. What does this mean? For people who have traditionally had a direct main contact with the end user, the customer. Short answer, align and adapt. You're part of the ecosystem, and there's no way that we're going to propagate or facilitate end-to-end service delivery without you. So the short and sweet answer, again, align and adapt. What does this mean? What the customer or the new age customer is looking for is convenience. You are the primary main contact point for the end user. It's for you to align, adapt, include yourself within the ecosystem, leveraging on technology to ensure that the last mile and fast mile service delivery is assured in a simple, easy, quick, and efficient way. What InsurTech is to propose and is facilitating, and there are actual real scenarios where this has been proven to provide value, is one, InsurTech provides the platforms that these agents and brokers can leverage on to allow a seamless, quick, efficient service delivery. If it comes to issuing of policies, when it comes to renewal, when it comes to policy review, effectively done on these policies. So we do not want to have an instance where the agent and the broker feels left out. We want to have an inclusive ecosystem where everybody is seeking towards an improved customer experience and create operational efficiencies. And that's the bottom line.
Great, thank you for that. That's really important that yes, you use the technology to make things efficient, but you provide the warmth, the simplicity, the explanations. That's great advice, Mary. And Emma, just moving to you, you've been in the world of, not Emma, I'm sorry, Laura. You've been in the world of fintech. And now I think more and more, especially in Kenya, but around the world, people don't want to go to the banking hall anymore. And they're doing everything on their phones. I can see some of them are even doing it at this very moment, right here. So, cybersecurity, as Thelma before us explained, is becoming central to banking. What are you doing to support your customers?
Yes, I agree. Cybersecurity is becoming central to banking, to the way we do business, the way we do life. Now, So we're looking at it in different ways. So from a financial industry perspective, and I can speak for Standard Chartered, we're doing a lot of awareness sessions with our customers, be it delivered through email, be it delivered through SMS, or even through the digital channels when the customers get to log in. Over and beyond that, we are also doing what you call broadcast media, where we use mainstream media, be it radio, to just speak about the risks associated with phishing, with social engineering, with malware, and with mobile-related fraud that has actually been a big problem right now. Now, when you look at even the banking industry and our Kenya Bankers Association and even the Uganda Bankers Association, which I'm close to what they're doing, these are topical conversations also there. So the conversations are happening, it is a priority. Over and above that, we have what we call partnerships. And I did note that Dave Watkinson's talked about partnerships, and he was talking about it from the Interpol perspective, but when you come back down to a country level, we're also having partnerships with mobile network operators, law enforcement agencies. There are big wins we can celebrate there, because where we see us in terms of investigating and prosecuting is not where we were 3 or 4 years ago. Then we also have legislation and regulation. And just to mention, the Data Protection Act that our keynote speaker was speaking about is something that's going to facilitate us in terms of identifying any potential threats that may lead to identity theft or impersonation risk. We also have the Consumer Protection Act and laws, and I know Thelma earlier on talked about how consumer protection is the reason, is a key focus for us when we are building cybersecurity into our solutions. And then of course the Cyber Crimes and Misuse Act, Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act, which has been enacted into law in Kenya, that then gives people the ability to prosecute. So there is a lot being done in this area. There are areas to improve, but we continue to learn and get better. So it is top priority, because at the end of the day, the customer remains king. Thank you.
Wonderful. So we get a focus on the client and, multiple organizations working together closely to make sure that the client is fully protected and doesn't have to worry about their cybersecurity needs. Thank you for that, Laura. I'm going back to Emma, and we hear so much about the emerging technology, blockchain, Web 4.0, autonomous vehicles, all this. Is this relevant at the county? And is there something that the county could do to leapfrog and become the users of new technology?
Thank you. It will be a disaster for any county or even the government to ignore the upcoming technologies. And what is most important for the counties to do is first to create an enabling environment for the vendors, for the private sectors, so that they can invest these technologies in the county, to have a fair playing ground. That is from the outside. And from the inside, we can't even afford to ignore it. We have to capacity build. We have to catch up with the technology. I think the COVID-19 meant a revolution by itself, apart from the fourth generation revolution. And it really placed people on how you work. And we look at how to embrace technology in a different way, and the counties cannot be left behind. So we really have to encourage and adapt to the changing times, and that will make the counties grow. Thank you.
Wonderful, and we are always very impressed by the innovations that we see coming up in the counties. Mary, let's think about the youth. I can see that you're one of them. They're living their lives online. You're a risk expert. what are the major risks and how do we communicate them to the young people?
Thank you, and very good question. Rightfully put, I think the majority of us in this room can be categorized as youth. So yes, our lives are online, from banking, health, insurance, to everything else in between, which again leverages on social media, how we keep abreast with the news, how we keep in touch with each other. Now, being that the technology has greatly improved and has been, again, from a convenience perspective, made readily available to us free of charge, people, taking note of that also equally, take the opportunity to maximize on the platforms provided to us for free. This presents a numerous list of challenges and risks for us, from social engineering, phishing, vishing, spear phishing, which is targeted attacks to us. Being that we're now doing online banking, most of our information is held online. It's easy for me to impersonate Laura if I wanted to and take over her life. And this is a real life scenario where people have lost a majority of their financial capability, but also more or less their reputation, which has been left in tatters. From a risk perspective, it's important for us to see what communities are available for us to leverage on, to uptake and facilitate, trickle down to all groups of people, not necessarily just the youth, but all people who have now absorbed and really taken up the infrastructure built to us. How do we do this? We have government agencies, we have institutional capabilities, and we have our school and education capacity building facilities available to us. The risks are there. Anybody can have access to this from an online perspective. What we need to do is communicate, one, how are they propagated? Two, what measures we will take to secure ourselves online? And most importantly, what is the consequences of these risks emanating, not only to the individual, but as a deterrence to ensure that no other people can uptake and propagate these risks across in a replicatable manner. So it's important not only to communicate these are the risks and this is what you should do, but also create the mechanisms for deterrence and ensure that is consistently, repeatedly carried out, again, to create that sensitization and awareness for somebody to say, oh, by the way, I can impersonate Laura, but hang on, I could go to jail for this. There could be some consequences personally to me. And I think that is a consistently and continually improving way to create awareness and sustain a status quo that, again, deters people from doing this.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Deterring through awareness. Laura, now I'll move to you. How can you're really passionate about mentoring women. How can we leverage technology to give women an edge in the workplace?
Yes, technology is an enabler, and we all recognize that post the pandemic, ways of working changed. We are now more open and we're now ready to embrace virtual engagement, collaborative ways of working, but it's also opened a myriad of opportunities for us in terms of accessibility. So if I look at the Kenyan context, mobile penetration rates are very high, number one. Number two, internet speeds have increased and the cost of internet connectivity is fairly affordable compared to other players in the continent. So that to me then solves the biggest problem, accessibility. It means then that from a mentorship perspective, you're able then to bring in potential mentees and potential mentors together through the available virtual ways of working, whether it's through organizing Zoom mentorship programs, like the ITU Women in Cyber Mentorship Program we're doing is 100% virtual. We've not had to meet physically at all, and yet it's a 6-month program, and this being the second cohort, I'm certain that we'll deliver it till the end. The other capability that then we can take advantage of because of technology is learning. In the past, online learning was not quite heard of. Distance learning, there were only a few institutions that were offering them. But right now it's possible to even self-teach through available tools on various platforms with good internet connectivity that is possible. It is then also possible to have the mentorship circles, because then when you have global leaders that are willing to be mentors, then I don't have to be physically in Kenya to mentor a Kenyan. I don't have to be physically in South Africa to mentor a South African, right? So then we are able to then take that benefit out of those technology abilities and capabilities that are available to us, and even hold each other accountable through mentorship circles, fireside chats. A good example is like this summit here, where we're doing it hybrid, but there are people who then are able to listen in on it online. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. So I think you've all heard the opportunities. You can learn online, you can mentor online, and you can create a global network while online. Now, the MC will guide me whether there's time for one question. Is there one burning question from the floor? I don't see anyone waving.
Are we good? Let me start from this row. Good. This row. Good. That row. Good. Yes, Dr. Getao, I think...
We're okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I'm sure you've had a little time to think about your 30-second parting shot, what you want to go, the young at heart people in this audience. And this time I'll start with Laura, and move towards Emma. Just give us your parting wisdom that you would like people to remember as they go away from this panel.
Excellent. So my parting wisdom is, whether you believe you can or believe you cannot, either way you're right. It's about your attitude and how you approach things. And secondly, as we grow up in our careers, one important thing we need to ask ourselves is, what are we doing to the communities and the other people behind us? What legacy are we leaving behind? Pay it forward, lift somebody up. There's so much value you can get from helping a younger person or a person who's starting up, because you also get to learn. Thank you.
Wow, Laura, pay it forward. Mary.
Thank you, Kate. I think mine more sits on the digital economy. And I think it's important for us as change agents, people who have been not only selected and given not only the confidence by the teams behind us, the entities, the parastatals, the government agencies. I think it's important for us to champion what the digital economy looks like and should look like, which again has started, but again has the potential to grow twofold, threefold in the next couple of years. So what is important for the digital economy? I would propose, and I would challenge all of us, to look at creating infrastructure. We are all powerhouses individually, but even more so where we are backed by entities, by parastatals, by government agencies, by international bodies which can channel and propagate the Africa digital economy. What do we mean by infrastructure? Let's break it down. One, taxation. We cannot talk about an economy if it does not provide value down the stream and within the ecosystem. So we must leverage on creating sustainable programs, both championed by the government, but also by private sector, to look at how we can agree on facilities that expand the digital economy. If we're talking about setting up taxation systems, what value will it propagate within the ecosystem and more so downstream? Two, regulations and frameworks. Is it important to have sector-specific policies that will champion, facilitate, propagate, accelerate the digital economy? The answer is yes. And the people who provide these answers are us. We're not looking anywhere else. The answers are in this room. So it's important for us to take this away, and not only for a challenge, but something that we can action, something that we can follow up, something that we can measure. In the next 5 years, what will Thelma, what will Laura, what will Frederick, what will Kate have contributed to the digital economy? 3, regulations and framework, but more so on the education, skills, and capabilities. What are we doing, as Laura has said, to trickle it downstream? What are we doing to pay it forward? So I would challenge all of us, as Laura has well put it, take on somebody that you can mentor. Pour into that somebody, and they will replicate that across the ecosystem. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. What a program you've been given. Thank you so much, Mary. And not least, but best, Emma, what word of wisdom do you have for us today?
Okay, for me, what I can say, it's about the young ladies who want to propel in ICT. There has been this misconception that ladies are disadvantaged when it comes to ICT, but I think we are advantaged. People will love to work with ladies, especially in IS, than it comes to men. And when it comes to implementing that, you find that even when you are sitting with men, you are getting that special preference, and it is comfortable to work. But for you to get that, you have to get out of the comfort zone, you have to get the skills required, and you have to put your house in order first. By the time you get to put the strategies in your company, maybe putting up the backups, you have to put the backup first in your house. Like you don't want to grow, and then you are always giving up the excuses, my house manager has gone, my this and this. No. You have to put the backup first in your house and put up strategies which can really pick up fast. Like if my house manager has gone, I really know what to do. I don't want to come to the office and start saying, oh, I can't report to work because my house manager has gone because of this and this. Because I'm telling you that will put you down when they come to promotions or they want to, when that vacancy is there, they look at it and say, no, but Emma is always not in the office. She's always giving these excuses. So you really have to put up the backup first in your place before you go to put it in the office. And then lastly, as I said, is to make your voice heard. When I went to the county, I had to make sure that when we go to the boardrooms, I'm not being looked at as a technical person who have come there to set up the projector, but as a technical decision maker. You have to put your voice heard, and you have to be intentional in doing that. I've been intentional in sitting the important committees in the county, not because of any political alignment, but because of ICT. You have to explain yourself and make your voice heard. I sit in the HR committee because I have to explain why we need ICT there. I sit in the monitoring committee. I sit in the finance committee. And I'm telling you, it's because of yourself making yourself heard and making your career be known and being able to deliver what you are supposed to deliver. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you so much. 3 dynamic ladies. You've seen them, you've heard them. They've made their voices heard, as Emma has exhorted us to do. And I have nothing to add except to quote another well-known woman, Sheryl Sandberg, who said, "We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored." And I think you'll join me in appreciating these ladies who have done exactly that this afternoon. Thank you.
Women are taking their position. Actually, they took their position a long time ago.
See the superwoman. Thank you, Laura.
Wow, yes. Asante sana.
Thank you, that was great. Mary Mbugua, our titan from the InsurTech.
Exactly.
Welcome.
Used to sing and play my guitar. Now I'm just singing some everything I do.
And Emma Ngute, a powerhouse from the county. Thank you,
Asante
Emma.
sana. Wow, thank you.
Pleasure.
Let's give them all a round of applause, please,
Oh,
as they
want
come
all of
together
us
and take one nice, empowering photograph.
to hold yours.
What you did to me. God said
Thank you so much, Emma, Mary, and Laura. Thank you so much.